I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on. Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on. And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, 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 I just feel so good.
It's just a little too close.
I see the world through my thrift store shades, rose-colored lenses and a fake gold frame. Come on. Playing old rock songs on an air guitar, posing for your picture like a superstar. Yeah, come on. And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, 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 I just feel so good. If you feel it, just dance along. Keep the feeling going on and on. If you feel it, just dance along, dance along, dance along. Yeah. If you feel it, just dance along. Got to keep the feeling going on and on. Yeah. If you feel it, just dance along, dance along. Oh, it just feels so good. I just feel so good. Just feel so good, good, good. I just feel so good, good, good. I just feel so good. I just feel so good.
I very intentionally left all of the footage ungraded, unedited, uncorrected. It's completely footage straight raw out of the camera. The only manipulation that I did was, of course, cutting to edit to music, but then I shot 4K 120 and did a speed ramp slow-mo while falling down a waterfall. The slow-mo on this camera is pretty crazy, and 4K 120 on an action camera, let alone on a drone, people are gonna get some really incredible stuff with this camera. I'm like super excited to see what people do. So all this footage was shot with auto ISO from 100 to 800 and using interchangeable ND filters. ND 32 on a bright day, 16 on a semi-cloudy, and then 8 on completely overcast, and anywhere between 4 and 8 on, or none, 0 and 8 on sunset and sunrise. If you're looking for a review of this camera that is like the nitty-gritty, every single menu, what the camera looks like, all the like fine-tuned features and specs don't apply to FPV, my boy Colin Dugan's got a video. I've got it linked down below. He does those videos perfectly. That's what his channel's all about: camera review, video editing tutorials, photo editing tutorials. He's got you covered. Just check him out. Links in the description. Long story short, a couple months ago I had a wedding out in BC, so I flew out to Calgary, spent the night at my boy Colin Dugan's studio. Package arrived, opened the package. Lo and behold, inside the package was 2 Action 2s. So I doubt you guys know this, but Colin and I back when the Osmo Action 1 came out, we produced a video together that had some scuba diving, had some sailing. When you downloaded the Mimo app and opened it up, there was a picture of Colin's face, and it was a video trying to inspire creators on how to use an action camera in a cinematic way. So Colin knows that I'm really big into FPV, right? Like who doesn't at this point? Anyways, he wanted to see what this camera could do on a drone, so he sent it home with me. Then when I got back, you know, the first challenge is how do you get the camera on the drone? And I couldn't really jump on Thingiverse and download some print mounts, so I had to open up some CNC software and start making mounts. And like 5 iterations later, I finally had this crash armor with an ND filter slot. You could put the camera in and it would hold it, it would protect it. You can see the screen on the back. You can then add mounts to the bottom of it to put it on the drone. I made one specifically for the ImpulseRC Apex and one for the Fly 533 Switchback. The 3 mounts are linked down in the description below. You can download them from Thingiverse right now if you want to dive in and get ready for when your camera shows up. So what's the Action 3? To me, it's insanely revolutionary action camera, and the idea is it's 2 compartments, 2 modules, and one module is your camera. It's got 155 field of view, so it sees even wider than a GoPro does. And on the back, it's got a touch screen so that you can go through and do your settings. On the bottom, it's got one of those connection pads similar to the Insta360 Caddx Peanut, I think it's called, so that you can charge it through that and plug it into other things. Camera module also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage inside it, and the housing is completely sealed. There's no ports, I/O, nothing. It's just a block, and the only way to communicate it through it is through that magnetic connection. The battery pack also has a screen on the front so that you can use the camera as like a vlog camera. You can, you know, point it at yourself and see yourself on the screen. Helps for framing and all that. It's a great vlog camera because of how wide it is, right? You hold it out like this and you get yourself, but you also get all the scenery and everything around you, or you can hold it close and fill the frame with yourself. It's amazing for that. I use the Osmo Action 1 as my main vlog camera. If you watched any of my footage on my YouTube channel, that was all filmed with Osmo Action. The battery compartment does have a bit of I/O. It magnetically attaches to communicate with the camera unit, and it's got a SD card slot so that you can have external memory, and it's got a USB-C port for charging the battery pack or getting your data off if you need to do that instead of using a micro SD card slot. The unit that I had was pre-production, and this feature didn't work in the one that I had. Sounds like DJI has a firmware update coming out that'll enable this feature that got me really excited for the whole concept of it, but click a few buttons on the screen and have it dump your internal memory data to your external SD card slot in your battery pack would be incredible. I'm praying and begging that DJI makes that feature a reality, because it would give such an incredible amount of peace of mind if you could go fly with your camera unit, bring it back, land, plug it in, start charging while you're switching your drone batteries. It's charging your camera, but then also syncing your flight data onto your external SD card so that before you take off again, you just unplug them and then you put the battery pack in your pocket or plug it into a USB-C so that it's keeping itself full, and you have your data with you on the ground instead of risking it every time you send your drone up. So instead of having 20 SD cards to swap between each flight, this way you have a memory bank in your pocket, which, please, DJI, make that a reality. So then who's the Action 2 for? Well, in my opinion, pretty much every single FPV pilot, because when it's just the camera module, that weighs like 55, 56 grams. GoPro weighs like 160, 180 grams, so you're cutting at least, you know, 100, 120 grams off your drone. That's well over 10% your weight. You're going to get longer flight times, you're going to get better response from your throttle. Because the camera's so much lighter, you'll be able to have a way better tune on your drone, because it's not going to throw a center of gravity way out forward on the drone. You'll be able to keep it closer to the middle, have your drone or have your battery back just a little bit, and keep your center of gravity nice and tight so that there's not too much torque when you're trying to flip and spin. And having a way lighter drone means that you're going to have way better prop wash performance, because there's not going to be so much inertia throwing your drone into its own dirty air that it's producing. So all around, just better flight performance, longer flights. Who doesn't want that? Every pilot. But then I guess who it's not for is, let's say, the FPV pilots who fly their quad like they're playing Call of Duty and they're just flipping and jerking all over the place. Really twitchy pilots, right? It's not gonna be perfect for the people that desperately need real steady to get good footage, to get passable footage, let's say. When I flew the Osmo Action, the stabilization on it wasn't that good. You can look up any of the old reviews, but there was, like, as you would do yaw spins, there was jitters in the stabilization. There was a lot of moments where it would just mess up and ruin a shot. So I'm thankful that it was my first camera, because it forced me to get really smooth and cinematic and just general on the sticks, and learn to tune my quad so that it would fit in that perfectly. So I haven't used the Hero 10, but the Hero 9 has pretty good stabilization on it, and I would say that the stabilization on the Action 2 is like on par, if not a little bit better than the Hero 9. I'm like absolutely blown away. It had none of the issues of the old generation version of this camera. I know in FPV one of the biggest concerns is durability, right? Like, we have all broken screens on GoPro, we've broken lenses on GoPro, and looking at this camera, that front lens I don't think is going to be really easy to replace. Same with the screen. We're all going to break the screen, but the bonus on the screen is that the battery pack has a second screen on the front. So even if you break the screen on your camera, as long as you don't break it on your battery pack, you have that redundancy of having two screens. So you'll still be able to use your camera and change your settings with the battery pack. But then that lens on the front, I think it's pretty durable. I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you guys in real world tests to see what it takes to break it, because I know someone's going to break it, but for me personally, I hit at least 3 branches head on with the camera going full speed. I broke one ND filter doing that. Never even scratched, chipped. The front of the camera is still pristine. In my opinion, it's pretty durable, but I mean, we'll see, right? So then the only issue that I really had was the stabilization. If you do really fast, high rate rolls, I mean, it's hard to describe this. I'll just put it up on the screen right now, but the stabilization was like tracking, and then it would jump and almost flip the image and catch up and keep going. It was like a really weird effect, but I'll play it for you so you can see right now what I'm talking about. And that type of action only happened in aggressive freestyle moves, and in my opinion, if you're a freestyle pilot, you shouldn't be cheating and using stabilization anyways. You should just be running it completely raw, showing off your talent of what you can do on the sticks. I think this camera is for everyone. Freestyle pilots, cinematic cruisers, car chasers, anything you want to do. Long range, you'll get longer flights with the lighter camera. I think it fits perfectly. Everyone said DJI wasn't listening to us. I think they made this camera for us.
Well, I mean, 30 minutes of crawling through that dense bush, literally forcing my way through. I found her. Thank God I put the beepers on. But I guess let's go back. All I did was lose a prop. Camera's fine. But I mean, fucking here we are. I thought that was a goner. I thought I was done with the cam. I thought I was gonna disappoint Colin. I'm just glad I got her back. I could care less about the footage of the drone. I'm just glad I got the camera. Well, there's the path. I hope you know this is what I do for the art, for the videos. This is so I didn't lose your camera, Colin. Oh, took that one to the face. Look at this. Just force your way through, right? Hope there's no hogsweed. I mean, there's the bridge. Damn it, I came out too early. I'm gonna go back in. Should have wore a belt. Okay, we just gotta get up there. We're through the thick of it. Got the camera back. I hate this shit. Okay, bye.